The first difference we have in OneUI 5 is deeper integration for the Material U theming and the color palette. Now when we select a color palette, we have the color palette to apply to our icons, and we will see that most of our icons now fit the color theme. Now these changes are also present in more aspects of the OneUI 5 user experience. For example, on our sound and volume rocker, we have the theming that comes across with each of these volume sliders. And now we can also see that we have more theming support within our quick settings tab, along with revamps in the overall aesthetic and color choices for things like the notifications menu. You can see this take effect in the calendar with the different days of the week, reflecting the colors that we have chosen in our color palette and theme. And I must say that it looks quite nice. Another really welcome addition that I personally use every day is the changes that we've had to widget stacking. Now, prior versions of OneUI 4.2 called this smart widgets, but now in OneUI 5, we just have widget stacking, and it's a lot simpler for the end user. If you long press on one of these widget stacks, you will see the ability to go ahead and actually change the widgets in the stack, right? Edit stack, we can choose which widgets show up, and we can also choose to now have it auto rotate through these widgets, as it will use AI to try to go ahead and figure out which widget I want. But if you just want to go ahead and stack widgets on top of each other, you can just simply long press, and you can go ahead and create a stack and add widgets of the same size. If you already have some widgets of the same size on your screen, you can go ahead and just stack them on top of each other, but the widgets do have to be the same size. So for example, we can add something to my theme, apply. Now we have Reddit. We can expand it. And then we can go ahead and we can stack the widgets on top of themselves to now create a smart stack. I think that this is a much more elegant approach to what Samsung had introduced in OneUI 4. Now, Samsung has actually added some new multitasking gestures in OneUI 5 based on Android 13, and you will find them inside the Labs portion. Labs. And we can go ahead and now enable and disable certain things. So for example, if you slide from the top, it will immediately put that window into your resizable window. I think that this is a really awesome addition because it makes multitasking and using split windows so much more intuitive. It's a feature that I might now actually use. Another feature is swiping up to go ahead and enter split window mode. And I really do like this. Here, let's see if I can activate it. And so as you see, we now have this new split window, and we can go ahead and choose, let's say, TikTok.
Oh my goodness, crypto is over. Look, Russia has...
And then we can just move it back down to the bottom. These new gestures are something that I think a lot of users, if you incorporate it into the way you operate your Android device, you're going to be using the split window and the small multitasking windows a lot more. Personally, I've always found that having to go into multitasking and activate it here to be a little bit clunky. I really like this addition. If you're a user of the Samsung Gallery app, you'll be pleased to see that we now have text recognition built into the gallery. So if you have pictures that have text in them, you can go ahead and actually select some of the text out of the photo. Let's see if we can do that with this bag. And as you can see, we have text automatically recognized, and we can copy and paste that text, search it on the internet. This is really, really useful, and it's something that Google Photos has had for a while. Another new update we got with Android 13 on OneUI 5 is intelligent Wi-Fi. Now, if you click on this multiple times, you can go ahead and get kind of a secret menu. This allows us to see nearby Wi-Fi information, channel utilization, connection information, along with router-specific history, application-specific history, so that you can see which applications are utilizing your Wi-Fi connection. This is more for development stuff, but it's still cool to see this addition in an update. A new way to visually change the way we get app notifications. We go to settings for apps, and now we can choose with a more kind of visual interface if we want lock screen notifications, badge, bubble, pop-up, etc. And the way it does this is all pretty kind of user intuitive and really, really seamless. I think that this does a great job of illustrating what these app notifications would look like for people that are maybe a little bit less tech savvy or don't have as much knowledge about the specific vocabulary that kind of comes with changing some of these settings. We also have some camera tweaks and changes as well. For our pro camera modes, we now have a histogram that immediately pops up, Pro photo mode, a histogram that pops up, and this is a really great exposure tool that you can use when trying to create or compose a photo. And now we also have some new changes to watermarks, and you can choose what kind of watermark you would like. You can choose model name, branding, you can change that, you can change the font, alignment, and this is really nice if you are using stuff maybe for reporting purposes and you need to have a photo with the time and date stamp on it, maybe some kind of custom text. This allows you to go ahead, tweak that, bake it into your photos, and it can be really useful for professional use cases. Another seemingly new feature is the ability to go ahead and change the amount of RAM or turn off the option for RAM Plus. I think this is really great for people that don't want to use it, although I've found RAM Plus to be quite useful in keeping apps open in the background, giving the device a potential 16 gigabytes of RAM. One more thing that I wanted to point out is that we have some new kind of lock screen enhancements. Although most of those lock screen enhancements will be through Good Lock, I still find that the overall aesthetic and kind of use case of, or kind of user experience of OneUI 5 to be very similar to OneUI 4.2. And ultimately, we don't see the revamped notification panel and quick settings. I've come to really like that, although I understand why Samsung hasn't transitioned yet, especially because the way Google has their notifications and their quick settings is quite jarring, and it does look very different. It's also not very one-hand bottom of the device friendly. Now, if you guys want a comparison with the Pixel 7 Pro and the S21 Plus, go ahead and let me know in the comment section down below.